So in the last knowledge check 1.4, I asked you to compute the number of calories for carbohydrates, the number of calories for fats, and those were per serving. And then I also asked you to compute the percent of calories and the percent of fats per serving. Now, if you go back and look at knowledge check 1.4, you know that the question immediately preceding that did review how many kilocalories per gram that are retrieved from these nutrients. Remember that carbohydrates will yield 4 kilocalories or 4 calories of energy per gram. Proteins will yield 4 per gram, and then fats will yield 9. So you need that because that 4, 4, or 9 is your multiplier. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to look at the total calories, and you see here that the total calories are 230 calories per serving. So now go down, and the first question you had on this was how the number of calories per serving for carbohydrates. So we go down and we want to look at the total carbohydrates. The total carbohydrates are 37 grams. So your first step you have is you need to take 37 and you need to multiply that times its multiplier. And remember, with carbohydrates, that's 4 calories per gram. So 37 times 4 equals, 37 times 4 will give you 148 calories per serving. Now the next question asked you the number of calories per serving for fat. Now we go back up and we see our total fat is 8. So we take 8 grams and we want to take that times its multiplier. Remember there are 9 calories per gram of fat. So if we take 8 times 9, that gives us 72. So the answer is here 148 and 72 for the first two questions. Now we want to deal with the percent. So let's first look at carbohydrates. So we know that there were 148 calories that came from carbohydrates. So what percentage of the serving is carbohydrates in this example? Well, we take our 148 and we divide it by the total calories that are available per serving. So when we divide 148 by 230, we get about 64%. If I want to be specific, 64.35%. We do the same thing with our fats. We know that we had 72 total calories that came from fats. We divide that by 230 because that's the total calories per serving, and that gives us 31.3%, or 31% of the total calories per serving comes from fat on this label. So you have to be able to carry with you the amount of calories per gram for each of these three energy nutrients. 4 for protein, 4 for carbohydrate, 9 for fat. And then you have to know where to look on the label. We want to look at total carbs. We want to look at total fat in this situation. Now, I could have also said what percentage of this label is saturated fat. Then you would dive down or drill down a little bit deeper into that label. So if you have any questions, be sure you come in and talk to me because we'll keep coming back to this as we do some analysis of our own diets.